As we wait for Nevada lawmakers to ram through SB 509, the ballpark bill that doesn't name a team or a location specifically, also has almost 3,000 public comments with a 78% no ratio. Not great, but they'll probably still pass it. The City of Oakland updated their FAQ page, and I think that this thing has actually been a fantastic resource. The update comes at an interesting time. I know, too long didn't read. So I read it for you. Here are my favorite parts, the parts that I think are the most interesting as they clarify what is going on with baseball in Oakland and where the deal stands. First and foremost, does the city want the A's to stay? Would the city resume negotiations with the A's, either under their current ownership or new ownership, if their proposed relocation to Las Vegas falls through? Oakland leaders have been clear they want the A's to remain rooted in Oakland for generations to come. How does the deal offered by Oakland at Howard Terminal compare to that being contemplated in Las Vegas? Skipping a bunch of stuff, A's are currently seeking $380 million in public monies to directly subsidize the cost of a ballpark construction in Las Vegas. In Oakland, the deal was at least $376.5 million in federal, state, regional, and local funding for off-site infrastructure, with more than $100 million in additional grant applications currently pending. Approximately $500 million in EIFD bond proceeds, assuming Alameda County contributes its incremental property tax and VLF to the EIFD, to reimburse the A's for on-site infrastructure, parks and open space, and on-site affordable housing. So the A's have raised $376.5 million for the off-site infrastructure. That $100 million more in pending grants is coming soon too. I've heard one of them comes as early as June, where the next one comes as late as September. So stay tuned for those grants. And also, by the way, if the A's never build a stadium in Oakland, if no one ever builds a stadium in Oakland, Oakland gets to keep all $300+ million of that grant money to fix up the area around Howard Terminal. So I guess it's a win-win either way. Is the city willing to reopen talks with the A's? Would the city make that same deal available to a new ownership group or a different developer of this Howard Terminal site? As noted above, with a willing negotiating partner equally committed to working collaboratively to find and implement win-win solutions, Oakland's leadership remains confident that a new waterfront ballpark district at Howard Terminal is well within reach. Get this is legit. Molly Mabin, the city's project lead, actually put her email and telephone number in there. If you want to buy the A's and build at Howard Terminal, give her a call. Skipping down, would the approval process change for a new ownership group or for a different use of the Howard Terminal site? The approval process for the project as proposed by the A's would be the same regardless of who owns the team. In fact, if somebody bought the team and didn't want to do the 3,000 housing units and all the commercial development, because who wants commercial development these days, you could actually just build the ballpark, probably a hotel, some other small businesses around the park, and make this project way simpler and way quicker. Residential, on an industrial zone, figuring all that out, that takes time. Simplified the process. Continuing on. What happens to the Oakland Coliseum site if the A's leave? Well, the A's license to occupy and play baseball at the Coliseum expires on December 31st, 2024. The A's actually bought half that site back in 2019 for $85 million to be paid over 7 years. That sale is scheduled to close in 2026. This is where it gets interesting. Under the terms of the county's agreement, if the A's elect to relocate outside of Oakland prior to 2026, all unpaid installments, currently $45 million, become immediately due and payable. So look for the A's to be very careful about how they announce Las Vegas plans, because they will be on the hook for that $45 million as soon as it's confirmed that they are moving. Lastly, is it true that the A's have spent 20 years and $200 million attempting to find a new home in Oakland? Now it's interesting. In 2021, Dave Cavell said it was about $200 million. As recently as a few months ago, he said it was about $100 million. The City of Oakland here states that they have only reached $8 million in terms of reimbursing the city's costs. So where's the rest of the money? Now there's one way to explain that fairly. The A's also have to pay lawyers, consultants outside of the City of Oakland. They've also been exploring their parallel path, which doesn't have anything to do with Oakland, so hopefully they're not putting that in the $100 million tally. I'd like to see the receipts. Let's just put it that way. So there you have it, a lot of points of clarification. You didn't have to read any of them. All you had to do was listen. It's good to see the City of Oakland defending itself, though, putting out the real information. Maybe MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred could see that. It's important that they clarify and get very specific about just how close this deal was, because Rob Manfred, the MLB Commissioner, keeps saying things that make it appear he doesn't understand the actual terms that were on the table when the A's fully committed to Las Vegas. So, stay tuned. We'll see if more information comes out, and I think you're going to be hearing more from the City of Oakland fairly soon.